So in this tutorial, we're going to go over the effective rate and the nominal rate. A lot of students find this confusing, but it doesn't have to be. The reason why this is important is banks want to quote you one rate when they're lending to you, and they want to tell you another rate when they're borrowing from you, which is the rate of interest they're paying you. So when they're paying you money, they're telling you the effective rate. But when they're lending to you or selling you money, they're quoting the nominal rate or the APR. So, of course, when you're telling somebody you're paying them, you want to tell them you're paying a lot, right? So that's why they quote the effective rate. And when they're charging somebody, they want to show that they're charging a small amount, and so they quote the APR rate. And there was legislation passed for this specific purpose. All right, so let's get going. So let's say you have a credit card, and that credit card is stating that it costs 15% interest annually. Well, we know that credit cards compound their interest monthly. So this is the APR, what they're telling you they're charging you. But let's find out what they're actually charging you when compounding is taken into account. So we can just hit equal sign, and we're going to type in effect. Once you type in EFF, you can hit tab to autocomplete. Now, if you wanted an overview of this function, you can just put your mouse right over this effect, have it turn blue, and you'll see a link pops up, and you'll get a whole tutorial here. And what I like that's nice right here is the math explanation. Now, this is in your notes, but you'll see the effective rate is equal to 1 plus the nominal rate divided by the number of periods to the power of the number of periods. In this case, it would be 15% divided by 12 to the power of 12 minus 1. Okay. So first we want to select our nominal rate of 15%, and then we're going to type in the number of periods. And so what we find out is even though the bank is telling us with our credit card they're charging us only 15%, they're actually charging us 16%. And for a lot of you, that might not seem like a whole lot, but it actually is. It increases or ratchets up the amount of interest you pay here. By the way, this right here is just telling you what the equation is or within this cell for that function. One way to look at this is we can take our 16% divided by the 15%. And we see that we're actually paying 7%, 7.2% more interest than what we thought we were. We can also make sure that we're doing this correctly by saying the EAR is equal to 1 plus our 15% divided by 12% to the power of 12 minus 1. And so we should get the same answer. There you go. So we tested our function here by using this equation over here that I'm circling with the mouse. Okay, so now that we have that rate of 16%, what if we're being told the effective rate and we want to figure out what the APR is? We're going in reverse. So now we're starting off with the effective rate of 16% and we want to find the APR. All right, so this is EAR. This is the actual cost taking compounding into account. The APR is going to be the stated rate that a bank is going to tell you they're charging you. So again, up here, the 15% is what they're charging. So to work in reverse, we're going to hit equal sign and then type in nominal. We'll hit tab to autocomplete. We'll select the effective rate and then the number of periods, 12. And boom, there we get 15%. If you guys want, we can change these to percentages. And then increase our decimal points. There we go. So that's the difference between APY and APR. So again, the APY is what banks are actually charging you, and APR is what they're telling they're charging you. So here's the actual charge, actual cost of money, and this is the stated cost of money. Now here's a practical example for you. So first I like to go to First Liberty Bank. At the time of making this video, notice they'll tell you if you have a certificate of deposit, the rate is what they're stating the rate of interest is, but then when they take the compounding into account, here's what the actual money will grow into based on the compounding, the monthly compounding. So I really like this bank because they give you both. They're open up front. They're telling you, here's the rate, here's the APY. So again, here's the APR, here's the APY, or some people also refer to as the EAR in the textbook. Another bank, which is Communications Federal Credit Union, not a bad place to get money from, but notice here, what do they tell you? So a checkings account or a savings account is what they're going to be paying you, right? Because when you put your money into the bank, you're lending the bank money. So notice they're telling you right up front, oh, here's what we're paying you, but here's the annualized rate. So this is the APR, the effective, and this is, sorry, APY and the effective. This is the APR, the dividend rate is what they're calling it. But if we go down to, say, loans, let's go down to, say, loans. So if you're getting a flex loan, they only give you the APR, right? They don't give you the APY or the EAR. So they're giving you the lower cost. Why they want to make their money seem cheap. If we come down here, fixed consumer loans, notice they're only giving the APR. They're not giving you the annualized rate. But here, notice APY. So if you're putting money in an IRA health savings account, they're telling you APY. But when they're charging you money, they're telling you APR. So that hopefully will tell you the difference. When banks are paying you, they want to tell you they're paying you the highest amount, the APY. And when they're charging you money, they want to tell you they're charging the lowest amount, the APR. So coming back here, remember the effective rate is going to be what banks are telling you they're paying you, and the nominal rate, or the APR, is what the banks are going to be telling you they're charging you. Again, there was legislation passed many decades ago. Banks campaigned to want to tell you this is what we're charging you rather than telling you here's actually what we're charging.